crafting friends, Jessica here with Tiny Worlds of Wonder, stopping in for a little show and tell of all the coloring books in my stash here in October 2020. Now it's been a while since I did a coloring video here on the channel, and for all of you who love coloring, this one's for you. If you guys are here for diamond paintings, don't worry. We'll be back to diamond paintings all the time. All the time. So today I am going to show you all the books in my stash, all my whips and finishes. I don't have a ton of coloring books, but I have collected a few more since the last time I did one of these whip parades. And I don't claim to be any kind of coloring expert. I don't claim to be incredible at coloring by any stretch, but I do have a lot of fun with my coloring books, and I absolutely love being artsy. All right, so let's get into this. I am going to show you a selection of pages I'm working on in most of these. For all the books that are still in print, I will put a link in the description below so that you can find these if you're interested. Most of them are, I would say, pretty easy to find. So I'll try to give you that info as we go along. And I'm going to work from, whoopsies, I'm going to work from newest to oldest today. So some of these first books probably won't have a whole lot of coloring done in them yet because they're brand new, like this beauty right here. Now this is Doming's coloring book. I got this from 70 East Books on Etsy. This book is so beautiful. It came with so many perks. You guys, 70 East Books on Etsy is absolutely one of my favorite places. There are so many unique offerings there. And this book is so amazing. It's got all these spreads of Doming's illustrations of fairy tales. So I'm not going to flip through the whole book, but I will show you, I'll show you the page I plan to start with. Which is this beautiful Romeo and Juliet spread. I'm hoping that my Derwent Inktense pencils are going to work beautifully in this because the color palette would fit so well. So this book has a lot of great illustrations. Every page does have a sample coloring illustration on one side and then a dotted line where you can cut your finished work out if you'd like to on the other. So this is a book I'm really excited to start. I'm thrilled about it. I'm thrilled. The only reason I haven't started it is just because there are not enough hours in the day, you know, to do every page that you want to do. All right, this next one I also got from 70 East Books. This is a book called Find Color. And I know many of you own this book. This is a glorious book. If you like Eastern art, if you like manga style drawings, this one is going to be right up your alley. It is huge. And not only that, it came with some awesome perks. It came with a poster, a coloring poster, in kind of this, let's see if I can find the end of it, this panorama style, which would be so much fun to color. It will be so much fun to color because, you know, I plan to get to it. In one of my lifetimes, I'll get to it. And then it also came with a poster of the original illustrations. And I forget the name of this artist, but I'll be sure to stick it in the cards because I always want to acknowledge artists everywhere I can. But it's got some really cool sample completed works so that if you want to base your color schemes on the originals, you can. But of course, you can also create your own color schemes. And this, oh, the paper is cottony. It reminds me of watercolor paper, actually, and it's taking water very well. The drawings are all grayscale, so I think that just makes it even more beautiful. These are very detailed drawings. I've started one page in here and I have a long way to go still on it. I used Derwent ink tints and Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils to just lay down some undercoats for this one. So I do plan to come in and brighten it up and all of that, but the paper took water beautifully. It did mute the color quite a bit. So I found that it took a lot of layers, but this book, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast with that book. I love it. So there's Find Color. Gugeli, that's the name of the artist. It comes to you eventually, doesn't it? It comes to you eventually. All right, now if you're on Instagram, you might recognize this book. This is, I don't know how to say the name properly, Aeppol or Aeppol's coloring book. This is Forest Girls coloring book. And this artist is on Instagram, very prolific. If you want to follow their work, I think it's so much fun. It's so much fun because this whole book tells the story of this little girl and her dog and her squirrel, all her forest friends. And again, it's a very grayscale style book. I've just started a couple of pages in here. I started this one with Prismacolor, just laying down some basic background colors there. The artist did this in kind of sepia tones, but since she's got a little snowman she's all snuggled up with here, I thought I might do kind of a winter scene there. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I barely started that one. And then I've also started a little bit of this page just with my Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. Those are very blendable on this paper, and I've really, really enjoyed getting started with that page. So again, I've got a long way to go on it, but it's been a lot of fun. So there's Forest Girls coloring book. Love it. Okay, like I said, I'm going newest to oldest here. Then we have maybe the most cherished and beautiful book in my whole stash. This is Serene by Nicholas F. Chandrawienata. Nicholas, I'm sorry. Chandrawienata? Nicholas, this book is beautiful, and I'm sorry about butchering your name. However, your artwork is incredible. Now, Nicholas is actually chiefly a tattoo artist, and I cannot even imagine having one of these beautiful tattoos on my body. They're incredible. This book, I must say, intimidates me a bit. There are just so many beautiful illustrations in it, and I think I don't feel sometimes like my skill level rises to what is necessary to do this book justice. However, I have started one small page in this book. I started this girl with the leaves in her hair. So my goal here is to make her, it's sort of an autumn, since it's autumn, sort of an autumn themed page with kind of autumn colors. So I've just gotten started on that with Prismacolors. You guys will see in a lot of my books, I have just like a swatch page. That way, if I have started some leaves or some twigs or something, I have a guide when I come back to the page, because it might be a long time after I start it before I get back to it. So I can remember what colors I used for some of these areas. And it also kind of keeps the pencil from blurring onto the facing page. So that's what that is. All right, this is a book that I've showed on the channel before. This is Mandalas Volume 3 by Color It. This is one that I was sent for review, and they were kind enough to sponsor a giveaway. It's been a while back now. But I started a couple pages in this book for the video I did. That was like a treasure hunt for pages with coloring on them. So I started this page in my former video. I haven't made any progress, but I really would like to finish it. That's a beautiful page, I think. This book has incredible paper qualities. If you're looking for silky smooth paper that takes all kinds of media really well, this, I would highly recommend Color It's books. This one I did with Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. I don't think I've made any progress on that one. This was a test page for Arteza dual brush pens. That's what it was. And again, I haven't made any progress on that, but I have done a little more work on this page with the pearl. I think I finished up the outside waves here, and I'm really digging that. I'm liking how that one is turning out. I've got to decide on a color scheme here for the center that kind of sets off those purples and turquoises. But this book is really, really fantastic quality. Probably the best paper quality in my whole stash of books. So that's Mandalas to Color Volume 3 from Color It. This book I absolutely adore. And again, if you're an Instagrammer, you've probably heard of or seen Camilla d'Errico's work. This is her pop manga coloring book. This is an amazing book. There are so many pages in here that I can't wait to do. This narwhal is just too much. It's just too much. So I've started this page with the robot. I love this guy. Started on that one. And then Sophia was showing me how I could color some eyeballs on this page. This was my attempt at coloring skin tones for the first time. So we've all got to start somewhere. But she was showing me how I might attempt some eyes on that page. It's handy having an artist in the family. It really is. It really is. But those are the only two pages I've started. Like I said, I can't wait to do some more in this book. I think especially her mermaid pages are just beautiful. Just gorgeous. And she has a couple of different books. So highly recommend to check that one out. I used Prismacolor Premier for those pages. And they were very, very blendable and beautiful on this paper. So I highly recommend those pencils for this paper. All right, this is a book that I purchased on Amazon intending to do some coloring in after I saw Zucchini Kitty coloring it in this one. I have not done a single thing. This is actually not a coloring book. It is actually just a book by Rory Dobner. But it is so adorable. And the illustrations are largely black and white. So I really encourage you to check out Zucchini Kitty's channel if you haven't already, where she colors some of the pages in this book. It's absolutely amazing, her work. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it when I finally get around to it. I don't feel comfortable doing a full flip through on a lot of these, but I do encourage you to check them out for yourself. They are really, really fun books, and I can't wait to get to that one. All right, now these are some books that you may have seen before, since I'm going from newest to oldest. This is maybe my most loved and cherished coloring book. This is Mouse Guard by David Peterson. Be sure to check out David's website in the description below. Again, if you follow David on Instagram or Mouse Guard on Instagram, you won't be sorry. You really won't. But I have done some test pages in here, both in the front and back for Derwent Inktense pencils, and they work very well in this paper. So I have finished most of these pages. I think I've showed before, but I probably did finish one more since I showed it last. So we have the little mouse hotel on that page. And then let's see what else we have in here. I did this little bumblebee keeper. I love that guy. Love that guy. And then I think this is a new page that I finished since I showed this book last time. We have our lantern lit. I like to think this guy is like a sage or something. He's out on a spirit quest at night looking at these runes on the rocks here. So this was mostly Inktense pencils with a touch of Prismacolor just to darken the blacks. I find my Inktense are pretty difficult to get a true dark black with. And then a little bit of Posca pen just to make a whole bunch of stars on that page. That one was so much fun. Oh my goodness, I had so much fun. Then I've done some little mouse warriors on that page. And then let's see what else. Oh, I did this in a tutorial on the channel, but it's all finished up now at this point. So this is our little studious mouse sitting there with his little ladybug friends. I love his little ladybug friends. I think the page I'm most looking forward to is this page with the music on it. Yeah, you guys sometimes save your most loved pages for last just because I want to have maximum skill by the time I get to those. And so, you know, I want to be good at coloring by the time I get to that. Let's see. Next up is, let's do Sweet Shop coloring book. So this is by Chris Price. I'm just going to show you the pages I've worked on in this book. I'm not going to do a flip through or anything. Again, I encourage you to check all of them out because I don't have a book in my stash that I don't like. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't have bought it, you know? So I finished this page. This one I did with Gonzai Tambi watercolors as the background and then Prismacolors to brighten up and or darken the shadows. And that, I like it. Yeah, I don't know if it's got a lot of depth to it, but I like the blindingly bright colors. That tends to be my coloring style, I think, like bright and high contrast. And then I've also started on the very next page, this confectionery, and that's a lot of fun because it's got all the little goodies in the window there. And I did this one with Inktense, I believe. And Inktense works just great on this paper. I'm really having a good time with that one. This is a beautiful book. Highly recommended. Let's go to another book that I find totally intimidating that I've made no progress on since the last time you saw it. Zemelia Snowba by Tomislav Tomic. I have colored exactly one page in this book, and that's the cover page. I did this with Inktense. I used a coffee ring stamp, I think, to make this little ring. My goal was to make this look like, you know, an ancient book that someone was just cracking open for the first time in a long time, you know, since the Renaissance. So I've got some ink splatters on there and some other things, but this book, it's just too beautiful for words, really. And again, it's very intimidating. I can't wait to get to this page with the little gnome cottage or troll cottage. It's just phenomenal. And then let's see, what's my other dream page is gonna be, oh yeah, this mermaid. Actually, I think there are a couple mermaid pages in here that I'm just dying to do. But again, I'm not positive that my skill level is up to the task just yet. But, you know, we gotta get over it at some point and just do it, right? You gotta just do it. So that's one where I have to just bite the bullet. Be a little brave and just do it. All right, now we're getting to some books that I've showed you a number of times, I think. So forgive me for that, but this one is called Color the Natural World by Zoe Keller. Zoe Keller is an amazing artist. This book, again, is very detailed, so I've done some little test swatches on the cover page there. And then I've started, I started this page that's kind of like the Northwest. This is one of the first pages I ever started with Prismacolors, and holy cow, did it take me hours and hours and days just to get that far. So I haven't worked on that one in a long time, but I'll get back to it eventually. You guys know you have to be bitten by the bug to work on something sometimes. And then this page I started with Inktense just because I wanted to see how that would go on this paper. And I wouldn't say that I can get a ton of layers going on this paper, but for what it is, it worked out okay. I've got a fish over here and some of these little red and white striped fellas, and of course my favorite was the seahorse. Then I started the lionfish. Haven't finished the lionfish. I start a lot of things. I start way more than I finish, as you can tell. I have a work in progress in every book, just about. But I love that book. It's got some really, really beautiful illustrations, and it sort of features different regions of the United States and the wildlife you can find in those different places. So it's a gorgeous book. This one with the cow skulls is really cool. Really cool. The whole book is really cool. I'm not sure that one's in print anymore, but if you can find it, it's a beautiful book. Here's another one that I've showed before and I've made no progress in since I showed it to you last, but Lizzie Mary Cullen is an absolutely kind, wonderful human being. I emailed her to ask her if I could show this book, and she was just so lovely. She was so lovely. So yeah, she's incredible, and this book, of course, all of her magical books are incredible. I have done just a few pages. This was the first page I ever did with Inktense. That's Baker Street, of course. We have Sherlock Holmes there. And then this was the second page I ever did with Inktense. Probably not my favorite of all my pages, but that's the Shard. This one's so fun to do with Inktense because these bright, vivid colors really make the little coloring areas pop in this book. So this one is Portobello Road. I love the bright colors. That's why Inktense are my favorite coloring medium. The bright colors are just so much fun. Then I've done this very scientifically inaccurate rendering of Aurora Borealis. If you live up north, you know you don't see a lot of pink and purple Aurora Borealis, but this one was super fun. I did it in the winter time, so it felt like I needed a little pink and green Aurora Borealis in my life. Then I've started on Stockholm. I haven't made it very far on Stockholm, but I'm having a lot of fun with it, trying to figure out how to make all of these buildings cohesive but a little different. Has kind of been challenging for me on that page. I need to look at some more pictures of Stockholm so I can do a good job there. This is Rex House, Bexley Heath. This one was a really fast page. Unlike most of my pages, this one I think I got done in a day or two, which was nice. It's nice to get something done, right? And this is maybe one of my favorite pages I've ever worked on in any coloring book. This is Ischia, Italy, and all these fabulously colored houses. That is a real feature of Ischia, these colorful houses. And since it's snowing right now at my house, wouldn't it be phenomenal to be in Ischia? That might have to happen one day. I know there's one other page I've done in here. There it is. It took me forever to find that. This is Kovarak, and this is another page that I had a blast doing. I colored along with a really awesome YouTuber doing this page. The color scheme is not my own work. If I can find her video, I'll put a link in the cards, because credit where credit is due. That was all something I did while watching her incredible teaching. So I really encourage you to check that out. And like I said, I'll be sure to link it up in the cards. So that's Magical City. Love it. Now that I've flipped through that, I kind of want to keep it out and work in it some more. I love it. This book I've had forever. This was the very first coloring book I ever got, Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basford. It's a fun, fun, fun book. I did these two pages, which I had in mind to do like summer and winter color themes. And I have to say, I just petered out with the monochromatic color scheme on this page. I will get back to it someday. I really will, but it was a lot of blue and purple there for a while. And this was before I had my really good pencils. And so every time I go back and color this page, I have to use my old not so good pencils to kind of keep it coherent. So it's a little less fun to work on with my pencils. And then I started this one with Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils, and I just made a tiny start on that page. So, of course, everyone owns one of the Johanna Basford books. They're fantastic, well worth it. I mean, this is just so much fun. And I love that there's sort of a search and find theme to the book. And of course, there's this incredible spread at the end. So that is a glorious, marvelous book. Highly recommended. Love it, even though I haven't done a ton of work in it. All right, we're down to the final two. This is Minuet de Bonure. I've showed this on the channel a bunch of times. Haven't made any progress on this page since I did our last tutorial. I kind of been saving it to do with you guys, and then it just hasn't happened. All my grand plans, you know. I colored a few strawberries on that little page over there. And then I have colored a kitty on this page over here. Do you guys ever just, like, I color the thing I want to color that day sometimes. I'm not a completist, obviously. I'm just not. Then I've started this page with all the little froggies on it. I love these little froggies. I cannot get over how cute this guy is right here. I think he's just amazing. So that one I'm doing with Prismacolors. I haven't done any water media in this book. I really don't think the paper would do that well. Hey, there's a Halloween page. I should do the Halloween page in October. And then I started this one, I was coloring along with Chris Chang on this one. So, I mean, no one can equal Chris Chang, come on. But I did have a lot of fun kind of following along with her color scheme and techniques. You can learn so much from color alongs, even if they're sped up, I find. I really enjoy watching those. So that's Minuet de Bonure by Kanoko Egusa. That's the artist for that one. All right, then last but not least is our old trusted Imagimorphia. I adore Magimorphia. And again, Kerby Rosanes is a wonderful human being. Wonderful human being. I've just done a little bit of color testing on my cover page here. And I wrote my name in it because it felt more official that way, right? And then I've really only done a couple things in here. I've started this kind of tropical pineapple page. I really have had some fun with that one. The color scheme on this one is going to be a lot of golds and oranges and greens. I'm going to have a blast. Some little touches of reds will have to go in there too. And then I think the only other page I finished in here is the one I've showed before. Yeah, this one right here, the compass page. So that one took forever with Prismacolors, but I had so much fun doing it. So much fun doing it, and the bokeh background was also a lot of fun. I have a tutorial on how I did the bokeh background here on the channel that I'll link in the cards. Those are all of my coloring books and works in progress. There are a lot of works in progress. Way more than finishes. But you guys, that's half the fun. Collecting is half the fun. Having a lot of choices for what you feel like working on in a day is half the fun. As always, I will put as many links as I can possibly fit in the description below so that you can find all these amazing books. I always encourage you to follow people on Instagram, support their work because they really, really deserve it. They're incredibly talented people. I hope you've really enjoyed seeing the video today. As always, spread some joy wherever you are, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.